And so the goal, and I will give my personal opinion, I don't know that I have before, which is I would rather someone smoke an e-cigarette than a real cigarette. And that's for one very clear reason, which is the one thing we do know is secondhand smoke can kill people. And at least with an e-cigarette, if you're smoking, the people around you are not going to be exposed to the same secondhand smoke. To me, unequivocally, that in and of itself is a win. But as far as actually using it as a tool, I was surprised at how many people will end up still smoking both. Maybe when they're in a social situation or at work, they'll go for the e-cigs, but then when they're maybe by themselves in the car, they'll go back to regular cigarettes. That not as many people, at least in this observational study, moved to e-cigs, and that was their only tool, and maybe eventually wean off of those. It seemed like it was just one more source of nicotine.
Yes.
So they still got the cigarettes, they're still smoking those, but now, in the past, maybe they would have to not smoke at work. Now, you can sneak into a bathroom and no one knows because there's no smell, there's no odor, there's no residual smoke. So
we know that e-cigarettes contain other things that are potentially carcinogenic, benzenes, heavy metals. So I don't think they've been out long enough that we know the long-term effects of.
Can you address that?
Yeah, no, I totally can. So the safest thing to put in your lungs is air, right? And then, so you have that, and then you have on the other side, one of the world's most deadliest products in combustible cigarettes. E-cigarettes are going to be somewhere in between. So we don't want kids to start using e-cigarettes. Yes, there are some toxins in e-cigarette aerosol, and nicotine can be addictive. Now, for smokers out there who have tried all sorts of different types of cessation methods, including FDA-approved medications, if this is their last-ditch effort, then go for it.
I think so.
Yeah. And speaking of kids, we know that some e-cigs have flavors, right?
Right.
And it makes me feel as though certain companies are targeting kids because some kids find it trendy, so they'll just vape. They won't smoke, they'll only vape because it looks cool to do so. Can you kind of talk to parents a little bit about that? Like, I know there are potential risks.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's a big issue. And so we don't want teens to use e-cigarettes because it's been associated with increased likelihood of starting to smoke regular cigarettes. And the FDA does intend to regulate flavors in e-cigarettes, but they're trying to balance the benefits and the harms of kids and then adults who might like the flavors and want to quit smoking.
All right, we do have to go, but one last question because this is salient. We don't have great studies on it. I just mentioned a study that was dealing with associations, but because you've done so much work on e-cigarettes, if someone were trying to quit smoke and they've tried everything else and they say, you know what, I'm going to try this e-cigarette craze to bridge the gap, how would they even go about doing that in a way that was safe and may lead to the highest likelihood they could actually give up cigarettes? Is there any format that you would recommend? Protocol, anything?
You know what, unfortunately there isn't. What I would say is, the CDC has some great tips on their website. 1-800-QUIT-NOW is another way to access free social support. Try what's proven. And then in terms of e-cigarettes, we're just gonna have to wait, and there's not gonna be one product that's best for helping people quit at this point, according to our knowledge.
It sounds to me like right now the best way to go is through the proven methods. Again, 1-800-QUIT-NOW. What a great resource. I share that with people in the ER all the time. And as far as e-cigarettes, I think time will tell. More data and more research is needed. Dr. Leventhal, thanks so much.